I bought a $2.8 million villa by the sea with my own hard work. But the moment my brother found out, he called and said, "We're all coming. 20 people, 2 weeks. Be ready." His tone sounded like he was placing an order at a hotel. I kept the phone pressed to my ear and didn't say anything. I stayed quiet. He took my silence as agreement. In that same moment, I looked at the clock. It was turning 9:26 at night. From the villa's windows, the ocean was clear and wide. A light breeze moved outside, and inside the house was completely empty. New furniture, the clean smell of fresh polish, and the silence I had worked years to earn. I placed the phone on the table. My heart wasn't racing. There was just a clear feeling that something was about to change. I turned on the kitchen lights and filled a glass of water. I knew this wasn't just one phone call. It was a pattern. If this moment feels familiar, stay with me. Subscribe now to follow what happens next, and see how silence turns into strength when boundaries are finally drawn. The next day he called again. This time his wife was on the line too. He was laughing. "We've already told everyone," she said. "The kids love the ocean and you have so much space anyway." I asked, "Who gave permission?" She laughed it off. My brother said, "What are you going to do alone in such a big house? You bought it for family, didn't you?" I didn't respond again. In that silence I felt steady, stronger than I expected. By the afternoon, a group text had been created. Cousins, their friends, their kids. Someone texted, "When's the pool party?" Someone else asked, "What should we bring from Costco?" I put my phone down and stepped outside. The sand by the water was cool. I took off my shoes and walked slowly. In my mind, everything was lining up clearly. I had bought this villa after selling my company. Years of work, late nights, small apartments, frozen meals from Walmart, cheap furniture from Target. My brother always thought I was just lucky. He never noticed what I gave up. He didn't remember that when I first started my business he had said, "This isn't something you can handle." This behavior wasn't new. He had always treated my decisions as if they were his. When I bought a car, he said, "You should have gotten an SUV. It's more useful for family." When I sold my old house, he said, "We could have lived there." Every time I changed the subject, I didn't like conflict. But silence doesn't mean permission. That was something he never understood. Friday evening, he showed up himself to see the villa. The moment the door opened, he stepped inside like he owned the place. He sat on the couch without taking off his shoes. "This room is good for the kids," he said. I told him, "That's my office." He laughed. "What difference does it make for 2 weeks?" His wife wandered through the kitchen, opening and closing cabinets. I set down my glass of water and said, "I'm thinking about it." They stayed late into the night planning everything. Who would sleep where? Who would bring what? As he was leaving, he said, "Everyone will arrive on Sunday." I closed the door and locked it. I opened my laptop. The documents were right in front of me. The villa was owned by an LLC I had created specifically for this reason. I picked up my phone and messaged my lawyer. Then I logged into the HOA portal. The gated community rules were clear. Guest limits, parking regulations, noise restrictions. I read every line carefully. The next day, I met with the property manager. I said, "From Sunday through the next 2 weeks, no one is allowed inside except the names I provide." He asked, "Is there a problem?" I replied, "Just rules." He nodded. I emailed security. The gate list was updated. My brother called again. "When are we coming?" I said, "Sunday." He replied, "Okay." I didn't say anything else. I ordered groceries for myself from Costco and filled the fridge. I closed the pool cover. I parked my car in the garage and left the second parking spot empty. On Sunday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was standing in the kitchen when my phone rang. His name was on the screen. I answered. There was noise behind him. Kids shouting. "The gate won't open," he said. I asked, "Are you on the list?" He paused. "What list?" I replied, "The guest list." His tone changed. "Are you kidding me? We're all here." I said, "I know." He started yelling. I could hear security in the background. "Ma'am, we don't have those names." I said into the phone, "Please do your job," my brother shouted. "I'm your brother," I replied, "and this is my house." His wife took the phone. "The kids are overheating," I said. "There's a hotel nearby." Someone in the background said, "What kind of sister does this?" I didn't respond. I ended the call. I looked out the window. The gate was far, but I could see a line of cars. Not long after, messages started flooding the group text. Questions, anger, accusations. I typed one message and sent it to everyone. "This property belongs to me. There are guest limits under the rules. I never gave permission. Please don't assume." Then I left the group. That evening my brother came back alone. This time security let him in because I had added his name. When he walked in, his face was red. "You humiliated us," he said. I replied, "You humiliated yourself." He sat on the couch. "It was just 2 weeks." I said, "For me it's not 2 weeks. It's boundaries." He started making threats. "What will the family say?" I answered, "The same things they always say." He said, "You'll end up alone." I replied, "I already am and I'm fine." I opened the door. "Please leave." The next day he posted on Facebook, "Half stories." I didn't respond. I sent a thank you message to the HOA. I told security not to tolerate any disrespect. I placed a chair by the pool and sat down. The ocean sounded the same. A week passed. No one came. The silence returned. I drank my morning coffee on the balcony. I set up my office. I went back to work. I realized that silence holds power if you know how to use it. 2 weeks later, my brother sent a short message. We stayed at a hotel. I didn't reply. I set my phone aside. I closed the villa doors and locked them. I knew the boundary was finally in place. I still live in that villa today. No one comes without permission. I learned that staying quiet isn't weakness when it's paired with a decision. That night at 9:26, I didn't argue. I chose ownership, the law, and my boundary. And that choice turned out to be stronger than everything else. Thank you for staying with this story until the end. If it resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Your support truly helps these stories reach others who need them. I'm grateful for your time, your patience, and for being part of this growing community.